Welcome to the Truth Podcast. I'm your host, Hany Rambod. I'm here with my co-host, Austin, and we have a very special guest today. She is 5-time Miss Olympia winner in figure, Cydney Gillon.
Hi, y'all.
Yes. And I'm very excited to announce she's also now my latest athlete for Evogen Elite. And we're going to talk a little bit about the story about how she came about becoming an Evogen athlete. And how are you?
I'm excellent. I'm just really, really glad to be here. This has been almost a dream come true. After you've been sponsoring yourself for so long and the product you were already using, you eventually get to be with that team. It's kind of like, oh, well, it came full circle. I'm glad that I didn't just sign with any random company that I don't take everybody's products. So I'm like, and I'm not going to lie and say I took them. So it's like pretty cool to see like when you wait and you're patient and everything comes full circle exactly how it's supposed to be.
Yeah, well, we're very excited to have you. And it's crazy to think that you've won the Olympia 5 times and you've just been sitting it out because you didn't believe to actually be, you weren't chasing a check, basically.
Yeah.
You weren't chasing a check. And in this day and age of everybody chasing likes and chasing all these things, I didn't, I was kind of blown away. And to go back into the, go rewind several years. When did you first hear about Evogen? Because I want to talk a little bit about that because I don't know the whole story. I just know Damien is your coach, and I think that Damien has done a great job with you, with Whitney. He's won multiple Olympias and with multiple Olympians, and I think he gets very little credit. And he's an Evogen Elite coach. He's one of our coaches that is part of the Evogen Elite team. And it was kind of funny to hear that I was just like, it wasn't even funny. I was just more in shock that you didn't have a sponsor. And so when you said that, yeah, I'm interested. And I said, the only reason, I guess what happened was Cydney and I talked backstage at the Arnold. I saw her with her trophy and I was like, and this was her second Arnold win. And I said, congratulations, you looked amazing. And what did you say?
Oh, thanks to your products.
Thanks for your products for that. And I was like, well, that reminded me that I saw an email come by that there was a shipment that you were tracking.
Yeah.
And I get
liposide, my favorite.
What product?
My liposide IR.
It was liposide IR. And it was for getting ready for the show?
Yep.
And so what happened was I got CC'd on an email from customer service because after a certain amount of emails, I get CC'd on them. And I saw Cyd Gillon. How many Cyd Gillons are there? Right? And then I saw it was from Georgia.
Yeah.
And, I was like, okay, Cyd's buying our products. And then I went over to Nick and I said, Nick, did you see Cyd Gillon? And she goes, oh, yeah. She's been buying our products for a while. And then he looked it up and he said that, look, there's over 20 orders just on the website alone, let alone whatever she's been purchasing from Amazon or anywhere else, stores, Amazon. And I was kind of like, okay. And then when we spoke backstage and I said, so who are you with now? And you said, no, I'm not with anybody. Because of why?
At this point, I really think it's because after you win so many titles, people don't want to pay you your worth. And not only that is I don't take everybody's product, so I'm not going to sign with a company whose product I haven't taken, I don't like, and it doesn't work with my body. So it's a level of integrity for me. If I'm going to get behind a product, it's going to be something I believe in full-heartedly in, that I've actually used and seen what it's done for me and seen what it looks like on stage, off stage, in before shows, after shows. When I can see what it does, I can get behind it. But once I find something I liked, there's no reason to change it. I found what I liked 3 years ago and I stuck with it.
And that's amazing because like we said, a lot of times things are changed because the messaging gets convoluted because you're just going after a check. Yeah. And believe it or not, there's a lot of people in the bodybuilding industry that are with other brands that go over and purchase Evogen because I see them and customer service geek out about it.
We can't share those.
Yeah, we can't share everybody's who those people are.
Who you are. No, but that goes from the social media side of it. That goes such a long way because it's there's people are starting to figure out that a lot of social media is the highlights.
Exactly.
You're putting things forward that are just what you want people to see.
Exactly.
And when people hear it's like, oh, you've been purchasing them. You've been going at, what you like and what works for you. And you were holding out for something that you actually product, you believe in.
Exactly.
That goes and that just like it transport, like the audience can tell.
Yeah.
They can tell that it's genuine.
And the funny part is because my husband, we both purchased Evogen. And so he tries to steal my protein. I'm like, back up off my protein. So I'm like, no, you can go buy your own. Use my code, okay? You can go buy your own. But years ago, I thought about it and I was like, because I think he was going to reach out to Evogen to potentially be like an ambassador or something. And I was like, yeah, babe, you should do it. And I was like, well, I don't know if they would take me. So I just never said anything. And I just sat there.
Well, I just feel that after we talked at the Arnold, I went and looked at your social media and I went and looked at a lot of different things. And I said, wow, you are so underrepresented. You won the Olympia 5 times. You're sitting on the sideline waiting for the right sponsor because you want to have that authenticity with whoever you're representing.
That's right.
And then I just started thinking, I go, look, everybody else looks at it like, hey, how much can they sell for you?
Exactly.
Or how much would you do? And that's not how I look at it. I look at it like this is a great story because it's literally the truth. It's literally the truth. And I'm like, why are you not sponsored? You won the Olympia 5 times. I trained Nicole Wilkins for her last 2 Olympia titles. And I'm sitting here just blown away because she was with Metrics and she had a really good deal. And Metrics helped make her bigger because they put her on their platform. So she was on the booth or she was, in ads and she was here and she was there. And it really helped her propel her personal brand to the next level. And I sit there and go, wow, we're all a huge fan of your physique. And I sit there and go, what's going on? And then even now, when we got ready to start this podcast here in Dallas, you live in Atlanta. Yeah. And you came out here and you just told me that this is your first podcast?
Yep. First podcast ever. I've only done like Instagram lives. That's about it. But never been on a podcast before.
Wow. So again, any of you out there that want to do a podcast with an amazing athlete, you should definitely reach out. And I think that I want to kind of go into a little bit of the story of your background because there's a lot of things that I found out after you and I spoke at the Arnold. So I started doing some digging. And
all good things. All good things.
So far. I don't know if I talked to her husband because she just was recently married, right?
Just recently married. We've been married almost 2 years coming up in December.
And how long have you guys been together?
7 years in December.
7 years.
Yeah.
7 years. Just like F57.
Meaning to the,
That's right. Not 6, not 8, 7.
There you go.
But what I wanted to say is, what does he compete in?
He was a men's physique professional when we first, so he started right when we first started dating. So that was 7 years ago. He did his first NPC show and then he turned pro at National. Same show I turned pro at. So it was very cute. So it's funny thing is I went and, you know how some women are a little bit more I'm usually laid back, but when I see what I want, I'm going to go ahead and say something because he's a little bit too calm. So things would just go right over his head. Like he's one of those people, like a girl would be flirting with him and he wouldn't know that she's flirting with him. And I'm like, sir, you need to get that under wraps.
Well, have you seen that before?
Yes.
Have you seen that before?
Yes.
And and he doesn't even know that.
No, he has no clue.
But you could tell.
I can tell. Oh, I can tell.
Really?
And I'm like, babe, hey, I need you to get your radar right. So now he's to the point where if you even reach to touch him, he's like, hey, back up.
I think that currently on social media, it's called like golden retriever energy. It's just kind of like happy and bubbly. Like people are just being nice to me. They're just, just being nice. And then it's like, no,
just
that's
clueless.
not what that is.
Exactly. So he was that person. So I was like, okay, all right, I'm going to have to go out of my shell and really put my foot forward. So what I did was I really ran out of my shell. I drove down. I knew he was competing in nationals. I had my mom check. I was like, Mom, make sure he didn't have a girlfriend. Because at first I was...
Now, what year is this?
This is like 2015. 2015.
Okay.
So I'm going. I said, I see him doing a little comment with a little girl or two. And I'm like, wait a minute. I think you might have a girlfriend. I said, Mom, go ask him. So she asked him.
Wait, you had your mom?
I sure did.
Okay.
Ultimate wing woman right there.
Right.
That's it. That's it. I got to meet your mom. I got to get her on the podcast. So you had your mom go over, and then what exactly happened at that point?
I said, hey, Mom, ask him. And so she said, hey, is your girlfriend going with you to nationals? And he was like, what girlfriend? And I was like, boom, well, he's single then. So I pop up. I literally drove 10 hours to be at his show in nationals. And he turned pro the next year. But that year, he got his first top 5 ever at his second NPC show. So after that, we were together a month after that, and that was all she wrote.
Wow.
Yeah, you got to put your foot forward, ladies.
Or put your mom forward.
That's right.
That's right. Call your wingman, and if your mom is not available or is not willing to do it, you can contact Sid.
I got you.
Yeah.
I am the ultimate wing woman.
There we go.
Okay.
I don't care.
Who's better, you or your mom?
I'm more strategic. My mom is like, she thinks she's slick and she's not.
Oh, yeah, that was a very subtle comment.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Exactly. She's
Yeah.
not slick.
That is awesome. And so you guys ended up dating for a while,
Yeah.
got engaged, got married. And then how far has he progressed in the sport?
He has gotten top 3, I think twice at 2 men's physique shows, but that was back in 2018, 2019, I'm thinking, because he took 2 years off.
Okay.
And
does he have a name?
Maurice.
All
His
right.
name is Maurice, yes.
I'm like, is this top secret?
Well, I never tag him on Instagram. It keeps
Okay.
me out of any mess. Key thing,
Okay.
ladies, don't tag your man on Instagram. People get nosy. So I kind of
All these are amazing tips.
There we go.
All
We're
these
diving into
tips.
everything here.
Yes. If you happy life, do not tag your spouse. Barely post pictures of them. Be happy off the screen. Then you're good. But yeah, so he got top 3. He did a Dexter Jackson Men's Physique Pro, top 3 there. And then he got his original pro debut. He got top 6 in Pittsburgh. And then after that, after a while, class got bigger and bigger, and he's a natural athlete. So at a certain point, he was like, all right, maybe I need to switch to classic. So there's a weight cap. So he can kind of get in a little bit better and find his placing there. So now he does classic. And so he did his first show. Whose show was that? He did Atlanta All States this past December.
Okay.
Yeah.
How'd you do?
So
Yeah.
it's a little bit rocky coming back after 2 years.
Well,
really,
and if he's a natural athlete,
Yeah.
I mean, it's always going to be hard. As good as his genetics are, it's always going to be difficult.
that's right. So he took that time. And so now I was like, because I was telling his coach, I'm like, hey, when you're dealing with a natural athlete, you need to give us time. We need time. You can't just be like, oh, get in shape in 2 seconds. That doesn't work. We need to work it down slowly, especially if you've taken 2 years off. And not only 2 years off, actually on a clean plan. He took 2 years off and was eating. Okay. The belly was little thickums. Like before I went, I was like, hey, babe, I need to see at least 6 abs. Just 6. I don't need an 8-pack. I don't need everything else to be
Damn,
shredded.
just a
At least 6?
I was like, you
I'm
have
shooting
the
for
high
at least
standard.
one. I'm shooting for at least
hold on.
one solid
You
ab.
gotta take some super
That's
dry
what I'm
right
going
now.
for.
You
Yeah.
have to try
I'm
it out.
like, give me 6. Because I'm like, babe, I mean, I love you as you are, but hey, if I got a little too thickums, you would say something. So I'm telling you now, I love you, but I need some changes. So he started losing weight for the wedding. But yeah, 6 abs is all I needed. And so he kind of came down with that. But he did well in the sport. But I think that break is kind of what kind of set him back, because he was always super, super lean, shredded, but he needed to be fuller. So he needed to kind of keep that skin tight and work his way up and then start feeding from that point. So if he had done that and then grew into classic, he would have been better off. But he kind of had to start from ground zero, really.
So let me ask you this. Who does more of the coaching? Do you coach him?
I do.
You do?
I definitely
Is it
do.
also because of your personality? Or are you a little more of the, a little more aggressive?
Yeah.
More outspoken?
I'm very outspoken. We're like exact opposites, but it works out perfectly, yin to the yang. So I'll literally get off the phone with clients and go to him when he gets off work. I'll go to the gym with him and just watch him and make sure he's doing everything he needs to do, especially close to shows when he needs outside motivation a little bit more. I don't need any outside motivation. I'm very like, I'm just going to get it. That's I'm all I need. But for him, I definitely like to be there, pat on the back, and make sure he's kind of staying in the zone and really, really pushing himself, because he'll do like, my training style is just a little bit different. So if you got a little bit left in the tank, I'm going to pull it out.
So what motivates you?
Winning and being better than I've ever been before. In order to do that, I have to beat myself every single time. And that never gets boring, because everything is always changing. Especially as I get closer to 30, things are just different. What I used to do when I was 14, I damn sure can't do now. Right. So I would do like a diet for 2 weeks and still be eating cookies the entire year and get on stage and be fine.
You're like Dexter Jackson.
Yeah. Good old days. Yeah, good
And you're
old days.
28 now?
29.
29.
Yeah.
29 now. And you're going to be doing the Olympia for your next show.
Yeah.
So you're going to try to go for number 6.
Going for number 6, yeah.
Yeah. And right now, last time I checked, I think you are the record holder for figure. No one's done more than what you've done so far.
Yep.
And that's a great, figure's been around for a minute.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's like men's physique where it's just kind of came up.
Right.
And I think that at the end of the day, what I really want to kind of highlight is the fact that you also travel a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I saw you in Pittsburgh over the weekend. You were there. You have clients. Mm-hmm. What else are you working on right now? Like when you're saying you have clients, are you doing coaching? Are you doing just posing? Are you doing diets? Are you doing personal training? What else are you got going on?
So my number one thing is posing coaching. I refuse to do competition coaching in any form of fashion. I already know I do not have the patience for anything that comes with coaching, honestly. I just don't have it. And I'm honest. And I think I'm also, again, like I'm big on integrity. I'm not going to coach you just because I've gotten to a certain place and think I'm qualified to do that. I am not. I will not. I can do a lifestyle diet because all that is making sure you hydrate, eat a little bit better than you've done before. That's different. Okay?
Wow.
That's
Talk
fine.
about integrity.
Like,
I was actually telling Hany he should consider coaching people from competitions. I think we should give that a try. I was saying that you should try like coaching people for competitions. I think you could do really well.
Oh, yeah. You know, that's something that people keep asking me. They're like, do you ever do contest prep?
You should consider it.
I should go back to doing something like that. But yeah, no, what's crazy is the fact that there's so many people on the internet and they turn around and they do one show.
Exactly.
And then they think that they're the, cat's meow, that they're going to go
Prep
out
coach.
there and do whatever they were handed over. And literally, they'll copy and paste a program that they got from someone, and then they'll hand that over. And because they had abs, they took some photos, they market themselves, and you just don't believe in that.
No, I'm not doing it. I've turned down.
You've won the Olympia 5 times, and you do no coaching because you don't feel comfortable to be able to say that I'm an expert enough to be able to help you transform your physique for stage.
That's correct. Now, lifestyle, I got you. Posing, I am an expert in that. So I do all categories for posing. So that's my main schmooze. I do posing for every single category. So one of my clients is Miss Olympia for bodybuilding. I've coached wellness pros, probably 10 plus figure pros to the Olympia stage. So I go.
Who's the person that you helped for won the Olympia?
Oh, Andrea Shaw, Miss Olympia.
Wow.
Yeah, for the last 2 years for her Rising Phoenix wins and her first pro win as a women's bodybuilder and her 2 Olympias.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. So posing, I actually started with bodybuilding posing. So that's the first thing I learned. And I adapted my posing off of the bodybuilding style. Wow. And then I just, as the other categories came up, I just watched them and learned them and then put my own style on it. So I'm able to teach everybody else.
So you've done bodybuilding posing. You do figure, obviously, posing. Yep. Do you do bikini? Do you do wellness?
Yep.
And then what about men?
I do men too. I have 2 class physique men right now.
Everything.
I might have to send her some class.
Yeah.
I know a guy, or I know a woman, I should say now. And everybody asks me. Yeah. So there you go. So if you're listening to this and you're considering any kind of posing, where do they reach you? Just
cakefactoryfitness@gmail.com.
I'll put the link down below. Yeah. I'll have Tim go ahead and put that down. And I think that what's really cool is the fact that, I mean, again, it's all the authenticity. When I sat down and I had come back from the Arnold, I sat down with Austin and I said, look, this is something special because it's we've never spoken like that. It's just, hey, hi, congratulations. Again, I feel like I'm one removed because of the fact that Damien is your coach and Damien's one of our coaches. Right. So he recommends the Evogen products. But it was weird because it was like everything that I'm listening to is the exact opposite of what's going on right now in the fitness industry. Everybody tries to be a coach. Everybody is either a motivational speaker or an entrepreneurial coach or, whatever, because they went to one of those classes. That's right. And it's like, I didn't go and become a chiropractor because I went to the chiropractor once. And that's exactly what it is. And it's like, know your lane.
That's right. I always stay in my lane. I preach that every single second. But that's why I've been able to get to where I am today is because I mind my business and stay in my lane. But I think that's also been to my detriment in terms of being able to fully just see my potential, because until somebody like you who's able to see actual worth versus surface worth, that's been the difference between social media following. Just because you have 500,000 followers, that doesn't mean that all those people are paying attention to you. That doesn't mean that they care about your brain and what you have to speak about. They just like what they see. So I'm very big on, if you're following me because you want to hear what I have to talk about and know me versus kind of just looking at a body.
Quality over quantity.
That's right. Yeah. I'm always about quality, because that's why literally on social media, you won't see me out of my clothes unless I'm on the stage. If you're here for that, you're at the wrong place. Go somewhere else.
There you go. I mean, that's the thing, because a lot of people do it just for likes. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just both men and women.
Yeah.
And I think that the other thing is that I don't think that people really properly invest into is the fact that when you bring somebody on, it's just the authenticity is above everything. Correct. And that's above everything. How many people are out there are like, hey, man, I sit there and I rep Kia or Hyundai, but I drive a Bentley, and it's like, okay, do you even...
Hey, don't knock some of those new Kias.
Right? I'm saying I actually like those cooking cars because I'm a car buff. We got to do a car episode one of these days because I did have, recommend it to my brother-in-law, the new Palisade, and he ended up getting it and he loved it. And I think that at the end of the day, what you look into, though, is the fact that the authenticity of what it comes, because when it's authentic, you're really giving someone a service. You're not just turning around and just saying, here you go ahead and buy this, but it's actually going to help you in whatever it is that you're, whether it's an information service or whether it's a product service or it could be clothing, whatever it is in terms of quality that you really believe in. And I think that with you've built a brand around being able to do these things, because I was like, well, without a sponsor, which most people are like, hey, my sponsor is my biggest thing. I need to get that check. You literally sat on the sideline for how many years?
3 years.
3 years. For 3 years, you just sat and bought Evogen products, and you basically sponsored us. So it's like I'm giving back. It's a customer. We literally signed a customer that just happens to be 5-time Olympia winning champion, Cydney Gillon. How cool is that?
I always wondered if y'all see my name. I'm like, I wonder if they know I'm buying their products.
We literally saw it for the first time, or I should say I did, because customer service saw something when they were going back and forth, and I got CC'd on it, and that's why I said, like, it was because of a misship or something.
Look at that. That's a blessing.
And I mean, the story. What was going on exactly?
So what happened was I was like, okay, let me try the new flavor, because there was a store, because I was back when I was living in Arizona with my coach, Damien. So I was running out of my Carnation and my liposide, and I was like, oh, I got to go ahead and order it. So I put in the order. I got my Carnation, but the liposide, I was trying the orange soda. And then I was like, hey, I said, I usually get my product really fast. I probably maybe go 2 or 3 days and it's on my door. And so I said, I'm missing my stuff. So I was like, hey, I haven't seen anything. And I asked at the gym, I was like, hey, is that the gym? No, nothing's at the gym. Nothing was in the mailbox. And so that's when I hit up customer service, and they told me, they were like, hey, we shipped it out. Double check. So I went back and I checked the next day, but I already sent the email because I was running real low, and the store didn't have it either. So I was like, I don't take a day off. Once I start my evening, my liposide is going. I got to be on it every day. Take it twice a day. I don't miss. So when I saw I was getting low, I was trying to scrape and kind of like dump out the last little bit I got. I said, Coach, I'm low. You don't got to back up. And so he didn't have any. So that's when I sent that email. Then eventually it was literally in the mailbox. So we just hadn't checked the other mailbox around the corner, and it was there.
And that's where I got CC'd on.
Yep.
Yeah, because when it gets to customer service, and then I'll, again, 1 or 2 steps down the road, I get CC'd on it.
People are going to start blowing up customer service.
Right.
Now.
There you go.
Just to have emails start going to Hany. I know you're seeing this.
At the end of the day, I just was blown away and then when we started talking about the flavors, she was like, and I know this flavor. This is my favorite flavor of this, and this is what you do. And I'm just like, wow, you even say liposide correctly. Because it's like, people go, oh, I love your limposide.
Oh, God.
I'm like, limposide? Yeah, limposide. I'm like, that sounds like it's not supposed to do something.
No, that's not good.
And but all in all, it's one of those things. One thing that I also found out, and of all people, I found this out from Sandy Williamson. You were a contestant on Survivor?
Yeah.
Survivor Island.
Long ago.
Literally the television series.
Yep.
Wow. So what year was that?
That was after my first Arnold, which was back in 2015. I literally got off the stage. I had 2 weeks, and I was stranded on.
Oh wait, you were actually a pro already? How did I not hear about this?
Wow.
Because I've always been the underdog until now. So I think that's where I developed a lot of my mentality. I got 9th place in my first Olympia. And then I got my Arnold qualification, and I was 8th there. So as soon as I left there, I was already casting in the casting process for Survivor. So I was flying out to LA to do the CBS interviews and everything like that. And then I would come back, and I went on the stage. I had literally done so many tests and to go and make sure you're like fit enough. I'm looking like I'm fit enough. I'm gonna be all right. I'm good.
Don't worry.
I'm
probably
good.
Mentally fit too, because you don't go crazy.
Right. And so I had once I found out I got the final casting, I got off stage and I literally stuffed my face for 2 weeks straight. I was like, I got to eat everything I can, because if I'm actually gonna make it through, I need a little bit more meat than I started with, especially coming from a contest prep straight into starving again. It's like, and back then that was when I did old school diets. Mm-hmm. So I was literally starving. And then I went to starving. So it made it almost easier though. It worked out perfectly.
So when you say your old school diets, were you doing like these 600 calorie diets?
Yeah, I don't even know how many. I've never counted calories in my life, but also I never had a scale I got my IFBB Pro card. I didn't weigh myself. I didn't weigh my food.
Really?
I just was winging it. I wing a lot of stuff in life, but it's like a strategic wing.
So when did you start working with Damien?
That was almost 7 years ago. So I met Damien and my husband around the same time within the same week.
Nice.
So 2 men who changed my life.
That's awesome.
Wow.
And Damien's such a good guy. I think that the biggest thing too is the fact that you went and did that out. Where is that? Is that in the middle of the Caribbean or
We
is
were
it
in Cambodia.
Cambodia?
So everybody gets Fiji now, which is nice. And we were out there dying in Cambodia. Literally, I had heat stroke and everything. Like it was severe.
How far did you get?
Oh, I made it to the finals.
Really? So you were like the top 3?
I was top 4, and then I never got voted out. I got basically kicked out by fire. We had a fire making challenge, and my friend made the fire faster, and that's how I got kicked out.
You didn't throw some like dirt on their fire?
I wish. My knuckles were too busy bleeding. Like I had blood everywhere over my hands because the machete was like when I was trying to scratch the flint, I would scratch my entire knuckles off. So literally, I was like, I left the island and I couldn't even bend my hands, couldn't go to the bathroom, couldn't do anything because my hands were so bloodied.
Wow.
So they had to wrap it up and send me to like the medic to get everything wrapped up. But that's how serious it was. Like when I'm saying I'm competitive, I'm competitive.
Did you win any money?
Oh yeah, you always get a little coin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it something they make public or no?
They don't.
Oh, okay.
They
But was it
don't.
pretty good?
Yeah, it's pretty good. It changed my life. It definitely.
Really?
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because most people don't know. I was like when I graduated college, I was making really good money in college. This is the weirdest thing. Most people are broke in college. I had 2 jobs. I was running track. I was in sororities. I was doing everything.
You've been hustling from day one.
Day one. So I got.
Let me ask you this real quick. What makes you such a hustler? What was the trigger, do you
My
think?
daddy.
Your daddy.
Yeah, he's a hustler. It's in our genes.
Watching him?
Yes.
Did he push you also?
Not in this. He always expected greatness,
Okay.
but he never outright said, you need to do A, B, C, and D. I just saw it and it kind of just got passed down and it just became who I was. So I started selling candy when I was 12. I was the candy lady. I was the hot Cheeto lady, the Capri Sun lady. I had almost more money than my parents in middle school because I was hustling that hard and I did not give them their investment back. My mom always blames me for that one. She's like, you gonna give me my return on my investment? I said, what do you mean? You're my mom. So
She
you
also
did.
was the matchmaker, so she's got another big one
Exactly.
there too.
That's
So
true.
that's
Yeah. So so you gotta that bill's racking up.
yeah,
That bill's adding up right there. When she gets older, you're gonna have to be like, oh, you're gonna go on a cruise?
Well,
yeah, here,
she
here,
can just
mom.
stay in my house. She can stay in there rent free, like I did.
There you go. There you go. So going back to the whole thing with Survivor and everything, do you feel that the bodybuilding mentality really helped you with that?
It made it so easy because usually in Survivor, like historically, the bigger, more muscular people go down first.
Okay.
Like they cannot survive, but they're usually not bodybuilders. They're usually like NFL athletes, basketball athletes, people who don't actually do restriction.
Right.
Like they can eat clean-ish, real ishy on that one because they can eat whatever pretty much. So I think it just made it so much easier mentally because, especially because I was already coming from a deficit, I know how to perform and I actually perform my best on low calories, in high cardio situations. The more intense it is, the better I am. So like the same kind of, it works for me. Like I run hurdles faster than I run a regular sprint. I always, like my coach said, that's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. I was like, I can't.
That is because you have an actual obstacle that you got to get over, and you go over there faster than you do.
Yes. My
That's
coach is like
crazy.
that. So she's like, that makes 0 sense. But I said, I need obstacles. If there's nothing in my way, it just makes it like, So I literally sometimes, even in preps, like if they're going too smooth, my mind will create something just to give me like a little road bump.
Right.
And my coach will be like, so what's going on? I'm like, it's doing this. It's doing what it's doing. Just wait. It'll be okay. And then like a week later, like, okay, that was a little bit of struggle we needed. And then everything just starts falling into place. But it's like I subconsciously put things in my way. But that's the same thing. I was a hurdler. So I give myself hurdles to make sure that I'm always pushing forward.
Wow. So you literally need those hurdles
Yes.
to be able to get you to propel to the next level.
Mm-hmm. So if
Very
they're not there,
interesting.
I create them.
Yeah. I mean, I give plenty of hurdles to my athletes.
It's cool to hear. It's cool to hear an actual like physical, tangible.
Yeah.
You need in hurdles. You're faster,
Mhm.
and then that's actually very applicable to life. That's cool.
Mhm.
I just had a little.
I always
like,
say
ooh
track is
moment.
life.
Yeah.
You know,
There we go.
and these are the things that I think that are amazing that make you so different and have helped you win 5 Olympia titles that nobody knows about.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody knows about. And I think that when you guys were getting ready for shows together,
Mhm.
did you feel that it was a detriment to yours? Because there's a lot of people that are couples that
Mhm.
compete, like
Mhm.
Derek along with Jelson, right? But they were talking about it over the weekend and they said, hey, look, think Jelson's going to do a show. And I said, please, Jelson, don't do a show at the same time we were doing the Olympia. Just, you can just do it like after or before.
Right.
But, she's so good at taking care of him.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, okay, so were you is it the same way? Or were you like, hey, I like him prepping when you're prepping? I
wouldn't say I like it, but I also I don't hate it. We do prep oftentimes together, like right now, because, it makes a difference because I'm on a diet year round. So it's almost as if I'm always in prep. The food is just a little bit higher, cardio is a little bit lower. But there's not a significant difference between me in my improvement season and my actual season. The only difference is I move when I'm actually in prep. But it can be rocky in terms of attitudes. It gets a little bit. And even
intense.
For him, yeah,
I like that. I like the improvement season, not off season.
Yeah, no, I don't have. Yeah. I used to have off season back in the day.
I like that. I like that. I might have to use that. Yeah. The improvement season.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it can be more difficult. But what I will say is, as long as you're sturdy and you communicate well, that foundation has got to be laid before you pull carbs. Okay. It has to be laid. So I know. Even before I left yesterday, I was like, so when I get back, I need you to go ahead and do a little meditation, a little woosah. You're getting a little testy. I can tell the carbs getting a little low, cardio's getting a little high. Okay. So he's like, all right, I'll be good when you get back. I'm like, cool, as long as you know. But you have to have that open means of communication. Otherwise, it goes to the pooper.
Yeah. That's 100% about, it's all about communication.
Yes.
And setting up expectations, knowing when you need to draw boundaries and take a step back and kind of be able to kind of reflect, hey, look, am I being a little bit edgy because of A, B, or C? And I think that's the biggest thing that people make mistakes on as couples trying to get ready for shows. I mean, couples in general, it's just really tough to communicate, especially when you are so into your business and you're traveling and you've got stuff going on and you're just so busy of just trying to get whatever you have going on done. And then you have your, significant other that's doing the same thing. And then now, it doesn't align all the time. And that's when you have to be understanding of one another not just act out.
That's right. Yeah.
Because people do that all the time. They act out, they, lack of a better term, say stupid things.
Yeah.
And then they end up regretting them and not always apologizing for them either.
That's right.
And then that's when the bitter pill kicks in.
Yeah.
And that's where people don't understand. That's what ends up happening down the road. If you don't communicate, you can end up causing yourself a lot of harm that ends up manifesting 6 months, a year down the road because it never got cleared up.
That's right. That's why I also tell people, don't make any big decisions while you're in prep. No serious decisions. No, just be quiet.
Yeah.
That's one thing I always zone in on, because I'll make sure that if I know I'm going into prep and I'm getting a little bit more tired, I just stop talking. I'll just be quiet. Like my husband will call me. I'm like, all right, babe, you got about 5 minutes. I got a good 5 minutes in me. After that, I love you, but I got to go. Not just hang up. But he's very, very understanding of that. And he knows, hey, when she's in prep, she does this. This is not like a hobby anymore. This is my job.
Right.
So when that difference is, it's like, okay, it's more of a respect that comes with it. And he just respects me in general, but it's more of a respect to the position that I'm in to make sure that you bring nothing to my table that is going to be a detriment to my career.
Yeah. Well, the other thing I was going to ask is, with all of these recent changes, for me, I see like the physiques changing. Does that concern you at all? Like when it comes to the depth and the physiques in figure?
I've definitely seen some changes, but the only thing that has not changed is me. So as long as I'm staying what I'm doing, the judges are still telling me that, hey, you're on the right track. Stay doing what you're doing, because these same people who are making the changes aren't winning the titles.
They're not beating you.
Right.
So what do you want to work on? Because here, so that we can get some content together. Yeah. And I would love to put you through an FST7 workout if you're down.
I'm down.
Okay. And at the end of the day, also show you, like, obviously some of the products that you have used, maybe how we can better kind of situate those protocols. But my thing is, if you had to sit down and critique your own physique, which I'm sure you do, what would you want to work on right now?
I like to think I want overall just like a shrink wrapped, even tighter look, where it's just like not grainy or anything, but just very tight. Like it's to the point where you can tell that like there was no excessive body fat gain at all.
Full and dry.
Yeah, just
full and dry.
It's tight.
Got it.
That's kind of my overall goal. So that's just an overall conditioning thing and making sure that I keep my body fat in check as we get closer to the show. And I think I've been doing good so far. But the key thing is making, like I said, the improvement season. The better I make my improvement season every single year with more food and less cardio, the better I'll be when prep starts.
Yes, absolutely. So if you had to choose a body part, what is it that you would want to improve the most right now?
I'd probably do more glutes, honestly. I want my glutes even tighter.
Glutes even
I
tighter.
want really, really, really tight because to go onto my hamstrings. So my hamstrings, they call them, people on Instagram call them guitar string hamstrings.
Yep.
And I said, oh, that makes sense. I can see it. But I want the glutes to be like
Boom.
perfect. Yeah, just
you
like
wanna get
right out of the guitars.
Right. You want that glute ham tie-in
just
to work.
clean, like a clean line.
Nice. We can definitely get into the gym today and be able to go over that. And then I think my only other question right now is, what brought you into the sport in regards to like who motivated you, who'd you look up to? Because that's one thing that I've always wondered whenever I talk to a champion, because different people have different motivations or people that they've turned around and looked up to.
So my parents were bodybuilders. They started competing when I was 6 years old. They were both pretty obese when I was in elementary school, and they started to change their lifestyle. But I really got into it because I had high cholesterol when I was 12.
Wow.
Yeah. So like I said, all the money I was making in elementary school, I was buying a lot of bad foods. So it was to the point where I would have sodium migraines where I couldn't even walk. I couldn't open my eyes. I would just have to lay on the couch. But I was eating so much junk. Like I never drank water. I drank Coke and sweet tea. And I mean McDonald's like sweet tea. Like it was a Georgia sweet tea. So that just made me unhealthy. And so the doctor was like, hey, either she's going to get on medication or she's going to change her lifestyle. My mom was like, she's going to change her lifestyle. I'm not paying for no medication.
Right.
So that ultimately, like that was at 12. By 13, I said, hey, I saw them changing their lifestyle. I saw how they lost weight. And I said, okay, I think I could do it too. And that's when Figure had just come out. Because I was back in the day when it was only bodybuilding, fitness, and Figure. There were no other categories to even choose from. So Figure had the rhinestones and the heels. This is back when women's bodybuilding could not wear any rhinestones. It was plain suits.
Right.
So I was like, I don't want to do that. I want to wear rhinestones and heels. And so I saw that, and at 13, I said, hey, I want to compete. And everybody was like, just wait a second. Are you sure? Because they knew me as a junk food junkie. And they just, as a child, you don't think a child's going to be that serious. And I'm like, no, I'm dead serious. Like, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it well. So 13, I decided I wanted to start competing. They told me to wait, and so I waited until I was 14, and that's when I got started. But it really all started with my parents and looking up to them and seeing their journey, how they lost weight, how they got healthier. Wow. And that made me want to change my life for the better, because otherwise I'd be sick. I'd be sick right now.
That's amazing. So it literally went from one polar opposite to the other.
Yeah. Cold turkey.
But I do know you got that little inner fat girl.
I do.
Yeah, because I heard about that. So what I want to do before we take off right now to go to the gym, I want you to tell me, if you could have any cheat meal, what would it be?
Okay. So I do mine in buffets.
Oh,
it's like a mini buffet.
All right.
So my favorite thing, I would do a Five Guys burger, Five Guys fry. And then I would have the ultimate Publix sub. Y'all don't have Publix here.
Oh, no, we don't, but I know about
You
Publix
don't
subs.
say
I know about
exactly
Publix
the
subs.
Publix
I know what they are.
exactly.
Yeah.
The Publix, the store?
Yeah.
The grocery store?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. They have good
Pub
sandwiches?
subs.
Don't sleep
Yep.
on them.
They have
Yes.
okay. So you had a sub. So
The ultimate sub, not just any of the subs. It has to be the ultimate Boar's Head extra mayo. Okay.
Very specific.
The mayo has to drip off.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It has to drip. And then I would do waffles. I do my Eggo fluffy waffles.
okay.
And then, of course, I have to add my brownies, my cookies, and my donuts. And so what I do is do a taste test of like 12 items, and you put them on one plate, and then you pick your favorite and eat the whole of that. And
See, that's how you know I was a fat kid, too, because I do my cheat meals the same way.
Yeah, you do.
They're like multiple places. You put them on. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
The most I've gone to is 5
right.
places for one cheat meal. And then you sit it all on one table. It has to be a table about like this size, and you just lay it out.
The problem is I'm not an Olympian. So that's the only thing. She's
I'm just blown away because I'm like, wow, you just replayed my whole life. I literally, for my last show, went to pizza, and we got 5 different kinds of pizza, and I got a empty tin.
Yeah.
And I went and grabbed a quarter of each pizza.
As you should.
And
yes.
I went and sat in the corner with ranch dressing, and I just dipped it in there with the ranch dressing. Yes. And I sat in, and then on the way home, I went to Taco Bell. And then I went to In-N-Out Burger, and then I also went to Krispy Kreme. and I gained 26 pounds. You know? Again, I was lifetime drug free, so I was only 148 pounds on stage, and I think I was like 175 or something by the time the next day. And I was like, oh man, but I look good.
That's right.
I was so full. I missed my peak, bro. You know, this was like 24 years ago.
5 slices of Cheesecake Factory cheesecake, and then I was like, it was not the best idea because those are like 2K calories each.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah. So I'm just like blown away because I'm just like, so have you used Evogen?
I have, and I used it this weekend. And in low key,
there we go.
what I really love about it is it almost made me be able to eat more. Because I was sitting there and I got through one burger, got through the second burger, got through the first fry. I'm like, ooh, I'm doing good. Because usually like my little tinker will come on like, okay, you're getting to your yellow light is what I call it. So I don't go to my red light, I go to my yellow. If it's still green, I'm gonna keep shoveling it in until it's time to back off. So I had no yellow light. So I said, oh, thank you, Evolog. I'm gonna take you every single cheat meal.
Wow.
Evolog commercial right there.
Right.
There you go.
I mean,
Pushes the yellow light.
I'm telling you, I could sign a better athlete. She knows all the products. She's already used them. She knows exactly what how they work and how well they work. So I'm just like, here you go. But again, thank you so much. We're gonna get ready. We're gonna do many more of these with you. I'm gonna be able to highlight the hell out of you because I really feel there's so much experience and stories and things that we want to go over. We're going to get ready to go hit the gym right now. Hey. And if you guys want to watch the gym episode, we will be posting it on the Evogen Nutrition YouTube channel. So definitely want to make sure you go over there. Excuse me, you go over there and subscribe on that and then be able to get notified so that you can see Cyd Gillon do her first FST7 workout. And again, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
We're really happy to have you, and we're looking forward to helping you with your improvements. And we're going to go over there and crush it. So I'm Hany Rambod, Cyd Gillon, and we have Austin, our co-host, and that's the truth.